Hello and welcome back to another news video, and for this week there's a lot of Farnborough airshow news to cover, so let's dive straight in. And moving on to the first topic of the week, and it's with Boeing and JAL Airlines, which are placing an order for 787 family aircraft. And with the JAL placing this order for the 787, they would like to then proceed to be a mainstream airline. And the order is made up of 10 787-9s, and they're saying that this plane is a perfect middle ground for them. But they are only options, but they can be activated later on in the future, or they could be activated as during the air show. We are yet to know, but they will likely be for the future in case they need to come in handy. Now, again, at the start of the year, they did say they would introduce 10 more 787-9s, so this is probably a backup order to support that order, as they did just place additional aircraft earlier on in the year. But with that order that they placed at the start of the year, it does not surprise that this came out at the Farnborough Air Show about these 10 aircraft. So it will be exciting to see if these 10 aircraft do become actual airplanes. And now moving on to Airbus, and Airbus with the A330 Neo and Vietjet, who could be placing an order at this year's Farnborough Air Show, and they're using the 2024 Farnborough Air Show to confirm an order for 20 Airbus A330-900 Neo aircraft. And Vietjet said that this aircraft would be the perfect option to modernise and expand their fleet to further than just Asia, and maybe go into venturing Europe or Africa. Now, this order is not brand new. It was signed for an MOU back in February of this year, and they have said that it would be firmed up at some point within the year, but we're better to do that than the Farnborough Air Show. Now, I have said that this is an order for 20 aircraft, all for the 900 variant, but this is also to replace some of their A330-300s they do have in the fleet, so they can bring down the average age of their fleet. And staying with Airbus and the A330neo, but this time moving on with Virgin Atlantic, and Virgin Atlantic have confirmed that they have completely finished their fleet retransformation efforts, as an aircraft of the Airbus A330-900neo has been at the Farnborough Air Show and has been unveiled, and this will be the last aircraft that Virgin Atlantic will be taking to complete their A330-900 fleet, bringing this total to 19 aircraft. And the airline in the last 5 years has done a complete fleet renewal, as they've went out with 747s and A340s in the last 5 years, and replacing them with A350s, 787s, and of course the A330-900neo. And with this aircraft joining the fleet, this now pretty much means that they've now got their new generation of aircraft. But the airline has also said from a business standpoint and from a passenger view that passengers and the company love the plane, so it's now not surprising that Virgin Atlantic is now going to be placing another order for the A330-900. Now, Virgin Atlantic's history with the plane maker has been going on for over 30 years, since their first aircraft in 1993. Now, the A330-900 has also been picking up traction, as it's been a bit of an aircraft that's not really seen much attention, but now, as since the Farnborough Air Show, has actually seen quite a little bit of pickup and quite a lot of orders coming through from new and old customers. And now moving on to something a little bit away from the Farnborough Air Show, to cover a plane crash that's happened in Nepal with a CRJ-200ER. The accident occurred not long after takeoff from Kathmandu airport, of which 18 people have died, and the captain has survived the crash, but will probably be facing some intense questions about surrounding the crash. So likely in the coming days and weeks we will likely get more information surrounding this crash, so it's sad to hear what's coming out of Nepal. And then moving on to the next topic of the video, this being with Boom Supersonic, and they're using the time right now to announce what's happening with the business and their plans to build the new supersonic passenger plane. But even though they have announced stuff to do with the cockpit and engines, there's not been a confirmed timeline when we'll see the prototype be unveiled and start test flights. But Boom is ambitious to get the plane certified and have it into commercial passenger service by the end of the decade. But this will likely not be happening as of recent time frames, and also they may have the prototype in test phasing by the time of the end of the decade, but they're probably not going to have the commercial version out, so it could be 10 to 15 years before we see anything. And Boom might simply run out of money, and we might never see this actually become a true plane, and supersonic travel might still not come in the near future. And what Boom Supersonic have announced is a brand new cockpit, so to see what the cockpit of the new Boom plane will look like. The cockpit is based off pilots, airlines and military studies to help them build this new cockpit. And some of the features go on to be large 17-inch touchscreens, which is pretty cool. And other stuff will be opened through a software, so the aircraft will probably definitely be very, very modern for the time span they would like the aircraft to come out for, or when the aircraft does enter service. So this is definitely some pretty exciting Boom news. And moving on to the next topic of the video, understanding with Emirates, specifically Emirates Sky Cargo, and Emirates Sky Cargo have announced that they will be modernising their fleet and expanding their fleet by adding more 777Fs to the fleet. And the order that Emirates has placed with Boeing is for 5 additional 777Fs, with the order book for 777-200s now standing at 247, this being passenger and freighter aircraft. And this order will help Emirates Sky Cargo able to boost their cargo needs, and this being as much as 30% by 2026. So this is only 2 years away, so this could really help Emirates, with the freighter fleet growing to 17 aircraft. And now moving on to the last Farnborough airshow topic of the video, and the order sits with Airbus and Flynas, with Flynas announcing orders to extend their Airbus A320neo family aircraft order book, as well as add some wide bodies to the fleet, which is the first for the airline. And even though I did say it is an order, but it is technically a MOU for these aircraft. And the order being summed up to 90 total aircraft that will come with this MOU, but the aircraft are not confirmed to what aircraft Flynas will be taking on in the near future, if it's from the A320neo to the A321neo aircraft, or even the A321 XLR, which of course has just been recently certified. But the other part of the order is for the A330-900, this marking the first ever wide-body order for the company, with 15 units ordered for this type of plane. Now, when Flynas get their hands on the jet, they will likely fly it to places like Europe, America, Canada, South Africa, or even as far down as Australia. So obviously with this order accounted for, then it obviously means they want to expand their long-haul network, as they already do operate a little bit of aircraft for their long-haul needs, but this obviously means they want to expand on their long-haul needs. Now this is good news for the A330neo program, as it's been seeing quite a lot of orders over the Farnborough Airshow. Of course, most of them, pretty much all of them, being for the Dash 900 variant, but still good to be seeing this Airbus plane being able to get some good orders. So that does wrap up the news for this week, and I hope you did enjoy, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!